was a chance to make you understand and tell you these forgotten truths you never thought were real. And if the world should turn its back, you know that I'm still here. Time won't ever steal my soul, and we're not broken, so please come home. Comes and life moves on, and when it changed, you didn't know you belong. And I'll still catch you when you fall through a past that steals your sleep, and scrawl these words upon your wall, remind you to believe. My soul, and we're not broken, so please come home. And if the world has worn you down, and I'll be waiting, so please come home. I won't let them break you down, hear the empty sounds. I'm hopelessly pretending that I know the answer. Angels light the neon fires that burn so cold through your desires, and all you are is all I need to know.
I think the disappointing thing this morning, hearing that IOC is recommended to eliminate wrestling from 2020, was just devastating. I mean, there was no one in the sport of wrestling throughout the world that had any idea that this was going to happen. I mean, there's been talk, but there's been talk about a lot of sports over the course of the last 8 years. So we were caught off guard with this, and what was disappointing is we really didn't have any representation to fight for ourselves, and just a judgment that did not have credentials behind it, and that's what's disappointing, and really that's the way we can get the sport back in 2000. Wrestling meets everything that you're looking for, especially the participation, the diversity throughout the world that participates in this sport. Although we got 1 million wrestlers in the United States, That's a small number compared to some of the countries.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, I'm surprised. Second of all, it's worse than death because you can't control death. I feel like we could have controlled this to some degree, get ahead of it a little bit. There were warning signs in the past. We're not going to get into that. I think, talking to some coaches around the country, John Smith said it best, you're going to fight.
I think I'm not necessarily educated enough to give an exact example of on facts, but to this matter, but I believe it's a huge injustice. I think when you talk about what the Olympics is, in my eyes, it's something that brings the world together. And when you have countries like, Azerbaijan and Georgia, even Iran, where that's pretty much the only sport they bring to the table. When you're talking about world peace, when we have the stuff going on in the Middle East with like Iran, I think it's something that will bring us closer in the world peace talks as well. I think it's a lot bigger than the sport itself. But yeah, I think it's huge. There's a handful of kids out there that may never grow up and say I want to be an Olympic champion because it doesn't exist, and to me that's horrible.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
For some, wrestling is a way of life. It is what defines that person. Wrestling is a sport that has turned many boys into men and many men into leaders. It is a sport in which you can be a giant regardless of how big you are. Many kids who grow up wrestling have their favorite stars. Those stars are born in the Olympics. And to take away wrestling in the Olympics is a sheer outrage. Many hopes and dreams will be crushed if this remains the same. Do not let one of the oldest sports in the Olympics be taken away. Save wrestling.
Alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know, but no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, Toxic picking it up. Let's go to Hennessy anyway. He never really talks much, never concerned with status, but still even the starstruck. Humble through opportunities given despite the fact that many misjudge him because he makes a living from writing raps. Put it together himself, got a picture connects, never asking for someone's help to get some respect. He's only focused on what he wrote. His will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds. The skill of an artist. This is 20% skill, 80% fear, be 100% clear. Cause Ryu was ill. Who would have thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the crystal method, name of the game. Came back, dropped Megadeth, took him to church. I like Bleach, man. Ryu had the stupidest verse. This dude is the truth. Now everybody giving them guest spots and stocks through the roof. I heard him with that stock. 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name. They call him Ryu, he's sick and he's spitting fire and Mike got him out the dryer, he's hot. Found him in Fort Minor with top, but a nihilist porcupine. He's a the type women wanna be